Well, so I have my guest in the studio. Abraham Amaliba is a legal practitioner, law lecturer. He's also a member of the NDC's legal team, helping us do discussions this morning. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, good morning.
It's been a while you've been on the show.
Yes.
You traveled there.
Do to cement our relationship.
Yeah, it's true. Yes. You remind Abraham, you like football?
Oh, yes. I have been sad because my team lost. Last week, it was the same thing. Last week, Asante Kotoko beat House of Oak in the MTM finals. Yesterday, we were given a 1-0 scoreline.
Okay, you are Mourinho Manchester man.
I'm a Mourinho man.
Okay.
So it's been a bad week for me.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I know. That man gets a lot of flack. I don't understand. I'm a Chelsea fan, though, but I love Mourinho, too. I mean, I love the way he says things as they are.
As they are, yes.
Yeah. And I know the NDC embarked on a unity walk. Were you there?
Not at all, but I followed
the proceedings
in there.
It took place.
That was the third
in the central region.
Third
in the
unity
series.
watch. Yes.
Okay. The first one was in Tamale,
Accra, then Cape Coast. We're going around the regions, and there will be another stop somewhere.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Is it part of recommendations of the Kwesi Botwe report?
It is part of it, and the former president, made that point, and so it's a unity walk, not only for supporters of the John Mahama, but for the entire NDC. So this is sanctioned by the national executives. Yeah.
These unity walks, how do they help in creating the needed communion and unity that you want to espouse?
They ginger the base. The grassroots have been yearning for some gathering which will bring them together at one spot. They have also been yearning for the party to put its house in order. And so this unity walk sometimes bring all these people together at a particular venue to socialize, to be able to speak about matters relating to the party. And so it will ginger the base. It will let the grassroots know that the NDC is on course to regain power. Stone by stone, brick by brick, son by son, the NDC shall rebuild. So these are the preliminary stages of our coming back together. The people of Ghana would definitely want the NDC to come back to power, to rescue them from the kind of governance that we are witnessing, this vigilantic type of governance we are being meted out with. So it is for the NDC to put its house in order. And putting our house in order, the first step is the things that we are doing now, which will ginger the base and make the grassroots and our foot soldiers feel that the NDC, having lost the elections, has not come to a standstill, and that we are still in existence.
Well, our main man in the central region, Richard Kojo-Nyako, was in the Cape Coast regional was in the central regional capital of Cape Coast, and is bringing out the story.
A report that is being serialized by JoyNews. President Mahama says the scandals that have rocked the Akufo-Addo administration within the 10 months held Ghana's High Commissioner to South Africa, George Isibuatin, is still at post.
The Constitution is the supreme law of the land. If you are a party officer, you can say whatever you want, there's no problem. You can say, oh, all jobs should go to NDC people before it goes to MPP people. That's if you are Alote Jacob. You can say that because government doesn't pay you. Taxpayers don't pay you. You haven't sworn an oath to anybody. But when you are appointed as a high commissioner, not an ambassador, a high commissioner, and then you swear an oath to of allegiance to the Constitution of Ghana. And the Constitution of Ghana says there shall be no discrimination and that you shall do justice to all manner of persons. That's what the Constitution of Ghana says. Then you come and say, have you read Animal Farm before? It says all animals are equal. That's how they started. When they did the revolution, they said all animals are equal. Then when Napoleon and the pigs started enjoying, they had to justify why they were enjoying. So they say all animals are equal, but some are more equal than others. So when they were looking for your vote, I remember Akufo-Addo said, President Akufo-Addo, His Excellency, said, we shall open the opportunities of this country to all Ghanaians, irrespective of your party or your ethnic affiliation. Do you remember he said that? So we did the revolution and he came to power. Now that the pigs are enjoying, they say some Ghanaians are more Ghanaian than others. I mean, something like this, you don't call the person to Flagstaff House, draft an apology letter for him and ask him to sign. You sack him at once.
So the former president, John Dramani Mahama, and the flag bearer of the party in the 2016 presidential elections, speaking there, it looks as if it's only him who is leading this. Is he the leader of the party in opposition?
No, the leader of the party is the chairman of the party when we are in opposition.
Unless you elect a flag bearer.
Unless you elect a... No, even if we elect a flag bearer, whilst in opposition, is still the chairman.
Okay.
It is when we are in government that the president ends. The president will be the leader of the party at the same time the president. You would notice that in the Accra one, he was not present, but it went on.
Maybe it's deliberate.
No, he was out of the country. He was in Kenya by then, you know. And so it is not to say that these unity walks are meant for him or are geared towards, promoting him. It's a party matter, and anybody can attend. Indeed, in the Accra one, I know Josiah, what's his name? Professor Alabi was in the Accra one. And so it's a party matter. It is not just geared towards promoting one person, no. Yeah.
Mm. But why is it then kept? Because we didn't have the other prospective individuals who want to also have a shot at the flag bearer.
And that is where I have a challenge. When he was absent in the Accra one, nobody was asking questions. Why is he absent? Probably this planning took place and people had their schedules already. And so probably the others would have been somewhere.
The others were there. Joshua Alabi was there. Wasn't given the platform.
But what was your question?
Oh, it looks as if when he's present, he becomes the main man.
In terms of what?
No, addressing the supporters and giving the main speeches, etc. On the podium, for example.
But you must indicate that you have something to say, or you must indicate that you want to address. They cannot impose that on you. So I've not heard Joshua Alabi indicate that he wanted to be on the podium and speak, and then he was stopped. So don't make a fuss out of it. It is a unity march, and don't attempt to put spokes in the works.
Well, we had Honorable Kukuriket
Hagan there.
Yes, also addressing them. So perhaps maybe my question is moot in the first place. But at the end of the day, it's also because the media had been reporting excessively on supposedly what you call a fake Kwesi Botwe report, but had been giving out, churning out certain stories from the content in itself. That should be real, is not it?
No, you see, it is only the custodian of a report that can release the report. In other words, the Ghana Fire Service cannot conduct investigations on outbreak of fires, and then the Ghana Education Service will then release it. It will not be an authentic document. So the point is that the NDC commissioned a committee to go around to collate views on how we lost the elections and how to rebuild the party. This report was given to the party, and it is in the custody of the party. The party says that that report cannot be a public document because it is an internal arrangement to ensure that it guides us in the next elections or moving forward. So it is not something that the MDC envisaged from the beginning, or anticipated from the beginning that it was going to be made public. It was to guide the party.
It was just an internal report.
To guide the party. So I don't know why people want the report to be in the public domain when indeed the intention of those who commissioned the committee was to have it to be an internal matter. Now, if you then go out and say that you have the report, and that report is not coming from the custodian of the report, then what you have is fake, clearly fake. And so we don't mind. The media daily guide can go on serializing what they have, but we know that what we have is not what they are serializing.
Have you seen the copy, the unreleased report?
Not even some of us have seen it. It's only the general secretary, the chairman, and just one person within the party that has the original copy. And so what they did was just to have what they call PowerPoint presentation of salient points. That when the committee were presenting it, salient points of a section, some sections of the report. But the entire report is under lock and key. Granted, if you say you have a leaked version of it, we are saying that what we have is not what you have. And indeed, some who have seen the report and what is circulating have identified some differences in terms of even the printing, the font size. One is bigger, one is not. So you could clearly see that these are not the real
You think
document.
they were pieced together?
Pieced together and those things. So
I think that speculatively the media reports were made to bait the NDC to try
exactly. It's done.
And you didn't take the bait.
It's done in politics. What you do is that if you cannot get information from your opponent, what you do is to send out a fake version, and then your opponent will be forced to say that, okay, let me put the matter to rest. I'll produce the original version. But the NDC was clear in its mind that this is a document that is going to guide us internally, and there was no way they could say that we are bringing it out. I think that the focus should not be on the NDC. Look at some of what they are serializing. The NDC did not give party agents food to eat. How does that address today's problems? The NDC lost the elections because monies that were supposed to be sent to some constituencies were pocketed by some party.
You don't think the NDC is of public interest?
The NDC cannot be of public interest when we are faced with challenges that are bedeviling this country. The NDC cannot. For instance, what are you saying about school children being put in dormitories like sardines? What is your answer to it as a media person? Are you interested in that, or you are not interested in that? And you think that by serializing the NDC report, the fake one, it will resolve the issue of children sleeping under trees? Now, apart from what we used to have, which is schools under trees, we now have dormitories under trees, if you are aware of that. We also have dining halls under trees. Do you know that?
I've seen some, I don't know, I'm not sure they are from
No,
Ghana.
in fact, your radio station is reporting some of them. This is TV station. Your radio station is reporting some of it. And I'm happy. For a while, I thought that, what is the media doing? We are hearing all these problems. Just here in Accra, at Lawat Presby Senior High School, there's a blackout there. When you go there, they will not allow you to film what is happening. But children are sitting on. Is that a kind of free education we envisage for this country? The Constitution indicated free education, but did not say that free education under these debilitating conditions. These are conditions that nobody will send his child there. I can tell you that on any day, a parent will want to pay for his child to go to school in a condition that would lend itself to good thinking, reasoning, and teaching and learning, than to ship his child to school and the child will be in that condition. Any parent. So what we are now doing is that we have alleviated the challenges bedeviling parents, and we've given we've foisted on the children.
Mr. Maliba, what you're saying,
the hardship.
It's not permeating all the schools. It's just one or two schools that have been reported.
No, you don't.
I
think that it is
or let's say schools in the minority that are facing the problem.
Probably you've not done your checks. it is rather the norm that most schools
are
grappling with challenges. Yes, I'm also aware few schools are not. For instance, there are some schools that the population is not even, they've not even posted so many people there. These are just few. But in areas where the population has increased, it has put the facilities to test. Indeed, I have always said that it's a good program, but the timing is wrong. Good program, but the timing is wrong. If you cannot control the flood waters, don't open the floodgates. They should have known that once you say free education, then you must be in place to put in place the infrastructure to hold the students. I don't think that any parent will be proud to have his child sitting on blocks.
Have you talked to the parents? Many of them are happy that they have children who are now going to school at least for free.
Yeah, initially they were happy. You are talking about when they were asked to go to school, the opening day. But subsequently, seeing what they have seen now,
the reality has done.
The reality has hit hard, and parents are not happy with that. Nobody will be happy to find his child sleeping in tents.
The former president, when he was addressing the unity rally, said that if he was in the position of the president, he would have sacked the High Commissioner to South Africa who made those utterances. What do you make of what he said, and also what really has transpired in the decision that has not been taken or taken so far?
I'm sure if you were also in the position of President Nana Akufo-Addo, you would have fired that man. Because what he said was repugnant. What he said was unacceptable. And so you heard the Ghanaian people expressing their anger and frustration at such comments. I have never heard Kwakase comment on any political show, on a political matter. But I saw a tweet which said that if Nana Addo thinks that he is for all Ghanaians, or he stands by all Ghanaians, I'm paraphrasing, he stands for all Ghanaians, then he should fire Ayesi Boateng. Kwakese, a person who does not interfere in matters of politics, found it necessary to make such a comment. And indeed, I have interacted with some MPP people who have also expressed anger. So with such public anger, why would you allow that person to be there? But I know one thing, and I have said that we should thank Ayesi Boateng for articulating those views, because these are views espoused by the entire MPP as a party. That is what they believe in. If you look at the MPP's conduct ever since they came to power, is cause unemployment and create jobs. You cause unemployment and create jobs. So sack people you perceive to be NDC and then put your people there. That's the kind of job creation they do. And so it has been a general MPP idea that we would take care of our supporters first. But it so happened that he had an okro mouth and it came out. So there was no way. And I'm sure you heard Ayesi Boateng saying that the president will not sack him because it is what they believe in. And so this is the kind of government we've had. This is the kind of government the people of Ghana have voted for. And these are the results that we are seeing. So I think that it is only a president who feels that those words are so repugnant who will take the next step to fire Ayesi Boateng. But this president does not see that. In fact, to him, it has been what the MPP sought to do. So it sits well with the MPP thinking.
For President Mahama, at least an apology from an appointee or somebody who has been appointed as a High Commissioner, who has goofed the manner in which Mr. Ayesi Boateng or His Excellency Ayesi Boateng had goofed, that should be enough. An apology which also says that based upon some recall and some recollection, perhaps an apology is appropriate.
I see.
An apology is not enough?
You see, since this government came into being, 10 months now, 11 months now, you notice a certain trend. Officials of government, when they misconduct themselves, they are called to the Flagstaff House, and after some 30 minutes of meetings with them, they will come out to say...
You have instances. Well, it's only
They will come out to say they apologize. You have Otiko Jaba, who had some altercation with his chairman and said unprintable things about the chairman. He was called to ask to apologize. The chairman himself equally was called to come and apologize to the people of this country. Then there was this whining matter, the whining deputy minister. What's his name?
Robert
Ahumkalize, who insulted diasporans. He was later made to come out and explain that if that was what they thought he intended, he's sorry, that was not what he intended. I think that it has now become an order that once you misbehave as a government official, your punishment is come and apologize to the people of this country. But we should be seeing people being sacked for gross inability to show leadership. And you notice also that this is a government that will not crack the whip even if it is clear that wrongdoing has been done. What the government would rather do is to have state institutions try to cover up. You saw the CID matter where the CID boss now, who has been promoted after doing this work for them, he has been promoted, was coaching A+ to try to cover up some wrongdoing. And I think that the media is not helping. Some sections of the media are not helping. I don't know whether they are in bed with their government or they are still in a honeymoon of the government. I think that the media should be exposing some of these things. Else, we'll have a government that will take the people of this country for a ride. And I think what is happening in this administration is too bad. We need the media to try to expose some of all these things to ensure that we have a government that is responsible to the people of this country.
Okay, let's move on. There's on the front page of the Daily Dispatch newspaper, more MPP vigilante riots recorded. We're told that apparently a media house, City FM, they put together all the numbers, which reached 18 by October 27, of incidents in which we had MPP vigilante groups that were involved. But now the number since October 27 has risen to 21. It means we've had 4 more incidents. That'll be it. Is that a case of worry for you?
See, when this
the latest was when they wanted to approve a DC
in just last week,
or just on Friday or Saturday.
Yeah, last week Friday.
Friday or Thursday. Yeah.
And these things are not stopping. The people of this country have cried out loud. But am I surprised? I'm not surprised. I am not surprised because the problem for me is not those who are causing this mayhem. The problem for me is the one who has the capacity to stop it and is not stopping it. I have no problem with these vigilante groups.
Then who would that be?
My problem is the person who can stop this and is refusing to stop it.
Oh, we have the police, we have the judicial service.
It is the president. He has given tacit support to these groups. Why am I saying that? I'm saying this because these vigilante groups were the people who attacked a policeman at the Flagstaff House, right at where the president works. The question is, what did the president do to those people? Rather, it was state security officials, some military men and policemen, who were rather arrested and put in guard room, ostensibly because the president felt that they had exposed what was happening on a video. Can you imagine that the president would do this? The president would rather protect the vigilante groups, the invisible forces, and the Delta forces, And in Accra, it's Delta Force, is Invisible Force. In Kumasi, it's Delta Force. In Tamale, there are two groups, Kandahar and Burma Camp Boys. In Ho, there are crocodiles. In the Western region, there are scorpions. In Bolga, there are Upper East region, there are Bolga bulldogs. You know all these names. They are all over. Have we, as a nation and the media, asked this relevant question, which is that, why should a government that has control over security agencies still maintain a vigilante group? Okay, even though that argument they put out when they were in opposition did not make sense to me, when they said that they did not trust the police. That's why they have those vigilante groups. But now you are in government. You have changed all the top men in the security agencies. Presumably, these are people you are comfortable with. That's why you've replaced them with some people that you are comfortable with. Why do you still maintain a vigilante group? So the buck stops with the president. And this president, when you look at his history, it's a history of lawlessness. When he was a flag bearer, see the kind of thing that were happening at his at the party headquarters. You can even go back.
You wouldn't say that he was the one who instigated some of those incidents, would you?
I am saying that.
That would be unfair to
I am saying that he had the power to stop those things.
That would be unfair to the
He had the power to stop those things. Look at and my general secretary made a point some time ago, General Seydou Kesia, indicated that, look at even his primaries when he was a member of parliament. When he was a member of parliament, the kind of skirmishes he had with the Oru Mofa. When you look back at him, you can see violence, tax. Look, today, I would say that.
But that's not really fair. The president
today,
doesn't assume a posture of being a violent man.
Today, I would say that two people in this country are prophets. Kofi Kumsin is one who said that when Nana becomes president, he can not sleep with two eyes open. And it's true, all of us are sleeping with one eye open. And former President Kufuor, who said that, let's hand over to a person when he was quitting. And the race was between he and Alan. He said, let's hand over to a person who can put everybody together. Today, what they have said has come to pass. So I think that it's the president who is refusing to do what is right, and that's why we are in this situation. But I have always said that Boko Haram in Nigeria started this way. Let's continue to behave like we are ostriches. Boko Haram will come to this country. And when it comes, they are no more going to be looking at who is NDC, who is MPP. You are there, they will kidnap your child.
Well, we're still on AM Talk having the discussions, and this time we're discussing political vigilantism. And the latest is during the election of a DC for Adam, and we'll do a recollection of that story, and we'll come back, we'll conclude on this story of political vigilantism.
I'm a journalist. Yeah, sorry, you are a trip. No, I'm a journalist. I want to do a video, you know? Yeah, I'm a journalist. I understand, but so you have to rather protect me. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Okay. What I'm saying is, this is something police and there could be, but the other side. Yeah, so I'm coming.
Action of a police officer trying to stop our team from filming the scuffle that ensued prior to the declaration of the results. JoyNews' camera technician was locked up in a room by some heavily built men in suit after they realized he was filming the fight inside the auditorium. Shortly before the declaration of the results, lights went off, scuffles ensued, and police officers had no choice but to whisk the ballot boxes away into one of their waiting vehicles. The presiding member and one of the assembly members were bundled into another vehicle.
At the end of the counting, there was one rejected ballot. 7 members voted no. 28 members voted yes, representing 77.78% of the vote. May I have the pleasure to invite the nominee here for the necessary confirmation to be done.
That was the electoral commissioner declaring the results of the election, but the presiding member, Simon Atakabla, says the results are not true reflection of the process. He's alleging police officers swapped the ballot boxes as they took them into their vehicles.
Leadership must be chosen by the will of the people. It must not be imposed on the people.
What are you alleging? You're alleging that they swapped the ballot box?
Yeah, yes, you can notice it yourself. I am shocked that just after the voting, your power was what? Off. They intentionally took out of your socket so that you will not cover what is going on. You know, and you have witnesses that even after the voting, police officers asked invisible forces to enter the room and cause mayhem. This is what I was saying came to pass.
How do you know they are members of the invisible forces?
By they themselves know who knows them.
Another member of the assembly is considering other options.
Honorable member for Tamatoku electoral area. I am telling Ghanaians that we are not safe under the security of Ghana. But let me tell you something. I don't have time for court. I don't have time for speaking British language. But I will face all the rivers where the shrines are. I will face them one by one, and they will see what will happen. I don't. Yes.
Why?
Yeah, I'm a traditionalist. I'm not a Christian. So I'm also going to pray because they butchered me. They twisted my neck. They seized my phone, my money. My constitutional book is lost.
Who did all of this to you?
Those who hijacked us in the room.
Did you see them?
The so-called invisible forces.
You were there. You saw them.
You were there. We were telling you, let the people get out from the room because we know the plans that the people said. They are telling the whole Ghana that Sarah is not a DCE and she can never be DCE for Ada.
But the newly confirmed chief for Ada is Sarah Pobi is not perturbed about their utterances as she laces her boot to start work.
And that was the 21st incident, we're told, according to the compilation, since the Nana Addo government took power. But we have to be fair. Incidents of violence are not the first to be recorded, and the Nana Addo government period will not be the period, first time in which we're recording this. It's always been synonymous with our body politics.
Yes, we are seeing increased violence. You see, what we used to see was after elections, first 3 months, we see some of these things happening. After that, everybody's left to his life and life moves on. We are in the 11th month of the reign of this government and we are still seeing this. So there's increased violence. Increased violence. Astronomical increase in violence in this country.
Astronomical.
You see, you notice that when the elections were declared in favor of the lady, there were no cheers. Did you notice that? There were no cheers. Ordinarily, you would have seen powder being poured and people jubilating. Did you see that happen? And yet, this is a government that will not listen to the people. Are you going to protect that lady alone as against the entire community because of that lady? This is the third time they are voting. They voted her out, and the third time you use force and you have supplanted him on them. Now, can she work? Who is she going to administer over? These are the people who say no. After this 21 times has been enumerated, I saw the MPP also come out with some 18 in the entire 8 years of NDC. So if in the entire 8 years of NDC, it is 18 violence you can enumerate. Just in your 10 months, you have 21 incidents of violence. The question to ask is, before we get to your 4th year, and if God gives you another 4 years, 8 years, then it would have been each Ghanaian with one violent act. So, as we continue under this regime, your own media person, cameraman, was manhandled. So even you sitting here and me, we are not safe. It means that anytime any person can be attacked, and that's how unsafe we are in this country. And yet, the media is mum. A section of the media is mum. They won't talk. But I have said that when the situation explodes and becomes like Boko Haram, because when it happens that way, there will not be any party colors. Because for that, when it gets to that point, they are now a terrorist group. They would have moved from a vigilante group to a terrorist group. And
is it not too far-fetched to be
my
linking,
brother, you see,
Boko Haram
I am saying that
small incident of perhaps scuffles and disagreements that tend
Boko Haram started in this way.
The country.
You can be behaving like an ostrich, but this is how Boko Haram started. In a small way, area boys. The Nigerian authorities laughed them off and said they were not serious guys. And you know what Boko Haram means? In Hausa, book is evil. They don't want Western education. So they saw that, how can a group of people behave this way? How can you say you don't want Western education? Can you stop Western education? But look at what they are today. If the media, who are supposed to highlight these things, are in bed with this violent government, this administration which does not have the wherewithal to stop these vigilante groups, time will come when these vigilante groups will become terrorists and be kidnapping our children when they are going to school. And that is when I pray that by that time, it's because my children will be alive. But by that time, I'm dead, I'm gone.
What do you think the political establishment and the president needs to do?
The president, I think that within his own party, people should talk to him. That he came to meet a peaceful country. He, Nanado, came to meet a peaceful country. They should talk to him. This country is not for him.
But the country.
So he should step up. He should ensure that these boys stop doing what they are doing.
The country is not in chaos, is it?
You want this country to start burning before we talk? Is that what you're telling me? What did Nana Addo as president do when a policeman was beaten right in front of his office? That is what will tell you that he's in support of all what is happening. You would have felt that as a president, you won't allow these things to happen in your office. But up to today, have you heard Nana Addo say anything about that? But we've chosen a violent person as a president. So we'll be visited with all these things.
Ms. Abi, why would you tag the president as violent?
I have given you instances.
Okay. Yeah.
I have said that right from his parliamentary days, when he was contesting in Ebuakwa, there were skirmishes all over. His language, all die, what he exudes is not the best for this country. And I've given you examples of Kofi Kumsin, who said these things about him, that he cannot sleep when Nana Addo becomes president. Former President Kufuor also indicated that
we're sleeping as his
I don't sleep with two eyes. If you sleep, fine. Maybe the invisible forces, they give you protection so you can sleep. But I don't sleep with two eyes. Look, let's be joking with this. If we continue to behave this way, if you create a monster and the monster finishes eating your opponent, the monster is thirsty for blood. The monster will not end. The monster will continue chopping. The monster, he wants to be chopping. So he will turn against you. Once you create a monster, the monster does not stop his behavior. They've created invisible forces. Kandahar boys.
But the NDC also has forces. That's all I want.
And I'm telling you that we are seeing increase and heightened lawlessness. That's what we are seeing. 10 months and you have 21. How will it be in 4 years? So let's say 21. So first year, 21. So next year, it will be another 21, another 21, another 21. This 21, 21, 21, one of it will be you. Or one of it will be me. They've attacked your cameraman. Next it will be you. You'll be talking that way.
Well, the Daily Africa has an interesting story on the front page. It says 1 year after the University of Ghana Medical Center at Legon had been inaugurated, the multi-million-dollar facility is yet apparently to become operational. And what's the excuse? It's because the Ministry of Health is carrying out due diligence on the facility and how it will be managed. The story also continues that the 597-bed capacity hospital, which was started at the cost of $217 million, was inaugurated by former President, who all remember that. And as part of measures to open the facility to the public, the Minister of Health says last week he met with members of an interim management board of the center to bring him up to speed on the status of the facility and how best to move to ensure a smooth takeoff in its management. It's been a year and it's been lying idle.
Pettiness. Pettiness is what is happening to this project. Because this is a project put together by the NDC, they can see how probably President Nana Akufo-Addo can go in there. It has been inaugurated anyway, it has been commissioned anyway, but to go in there and maybe open it up. Because what would he be saying? This is not one of the projects he can tell a lie that it was built in Kufuor's time. Pettiness. This beautiful facility. This was supposed to be a tertiary health facility. We have secondary health facility, but this was supposed to be tertiary so that people would not be traveling out. This is what the NDC thought this to be. Look at the excuse they are giving. How it to be managed. How do we manage our hospitals in this country? Is there a special way of managing hospitals in this country that the MPP now want to introduce and they don't know where it is? It is pettiness. You have noticed that they go about recommissioning projects that we have commissioned under the NDC.
An example is which?
An NDC is some communication something in the Eastern region of Kofrodia, where you have the plaque bearing Omanebo Ama's name and you have another one bearing Oslo Wilson's name. Why? This is pettiness. These are not serious people. 110 ministers, and we are in this situation as if we now have 30 ministers. Is this what Ghanaians envisage? It is a sad commentary on the administration of Nana Akufo-Addo. This facility was put by the taxpayers' money, not President Mahama's money. So why wouldn't you commission it? And it was also supposed to solve a problem of students, medical school students, having to be traveled all the way to Kolebu. They'll get up done, you know that.
To go and do their clinic.
To do whatever they do. And then when they are in the bus, they'll be sleeping. Before they come back, 10 o'clock. In the wisdom of the former administration, let's build one close to them. See what is happening. Is it not a hopeless story? Have we gone or have we come under this administration? People thought that if this administration comes, there's going to be milk and honey flowing on our streets. See what is happening.
But the economy has been doing so well.
The economy has been doing well.
Yeah, we've been trying to even raise some bond recently, even though it's been undersubscribed.
That was a disgrace to them. They were targeting a certain amount.
No, you are saying no. You are saying that milk, honey, and things flowing. But I'm saying the economy is not doing too badly. I mean, we're doing very well.
How do you mean? There's the dollar. You know where it is now. How much did we leave it to them? 4.4.
It's not too bad.
The dollar. How much did we leave it for them?
It's not too bad. I know you left it lower at 3.4.
Good.
It's not
Good.
It's not too bad.
You say the economy is doing well.
Well, it's not
do you
bad.
know the prices of items in the market?
Have you looked at both the micro and macroeconomic?
I'm saying that. Do you know how much price of goods in the market?
Have you looked at the macroeconomic index? Because inflation too has gone down.
Inflation has been coming down.
But you are saying it's not reflecting on the price of goods and services.
From our time, inflation has been coming down. Indeed, inflation started coming down from the latter part of 2016. You know that. But does it reflect? Do you think that when you go to the market now, the market women and those who go to purchase items from the market are not complaining? So it is a hopeless story. The Constitution, and I'm a lawyer, the Constitution says that as much as possible, we should continue with projects of the previous administration. This is an experience we carried from previous governments. So under this Constitution, 1992 Constitution, we enshrine in our Constitution that when projects start in a previous administration, the next administration should continue. You are just to open this up for usage and look at the pettiness in it. It is a sad story. And I don't think that I'm happy with what is happening to that facility.
Well, the PRO sought to dismiss speculation. Apparently, the speculation was that there was a tussle between the ministry and the University Authority as to who should be responsible for the management of the center. What's your view on it? Who do you think
they should go back? I'm telling this administration to go back to the original plan, how the NDC and the university authorities agreed on the facility, and stop doing what they are doing. What they are doing, you see, in all public sectors, and yesterday I heard something from GMPC. People are brought from outside to take over people's jobs. So if you were a director, somebody will be brought from outside so you will now be working under him.
So you have a parallel, and then you go down.
You go down.
That's a speculation.
Yes.
That's speculation.
I can give you one example. Dr. Kwame Boanako has been moved from wherever he was at that bank to GMPC. And he's now presiding over somebody who was at the helm of affairs there. Just an example. So they should stop trying to re-engineer everything and those things. I was on the GMPC board. When we were there, we knew people who were MPP, but we left them. The director of finance, I will say these things. We knew she was MPP. We knew she was leaking, but Alex Moore said he won't remove her. She's a Ghanaian. Is that the same thing they are doing to us? So that's why I said that Ayesi Boateng only spoke out, but that is the modus operandi in there. That's what the MPP thinks about. Cause unemployment and create employment. And they should go back. My advice to them is that there's no confusion. They should go back to the original plan. I have some information about this. In our time, the Legon Hospital will continue to be there. Those who are working there will be there. And then new people will be employed
to manage
this one. They should go back to that plan. It's not
in conjunction with the
in fact, there was even an advert calling for people to apply.
In conjunction with the University Authority?
Yes, in conjunction with the University Authority. So
it should be a joint, not rather having the ministry impose their people?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Thanks for the info, though. And Abraham Maliba is a legal practitioner, and he's been joining us this morning. But before we go, what do you make of the comment of the president, former president of the Republic, who is also who was a flag bearer of the NDC in the 2016 presidential elections? And the story says Mahama condemns Ayesi Boateng's apology of an apology letter. He has joined calls for Ghana's ambassador to South Africa, or High Commissioner to South Africa, George Ayesi Boateng, to be sacked for making comment condemned widely as factional. And the people of Kumasi are grateful even if we build roads with gold. Ashantis won't appreciate. That's former president. He's been quoted. That's Apia Kubi Williams, a quick reminder, reminding us what the president, I don't know, I think that was just I think you're taking him out of context too. And Lily Wales. Mahama is behaving like a full soldier. Lordina should take his phone from him immediately so he can save himself the small dignity he got left. Akufu Ekuya Dokuya. We shall overcome one day. It's just a matter of time. Majority of Ghanaians are going to read and write, and they will realize between the pretenders and the weakest links. Judicious Udro Eric, so disgracing comments. What happened to Efri Yankra and Joseph Yamin? Were they not reshuffled under your administration instead of you to fire them? Evans Kwamponsa, he's condemning others but calling us pigs. Thank you. You see his incompetence, weak minds. And then he continues, this is an unwise and pathetic statement from a former president. We'll give him equal measure. I guess he has not read the KB report. Okay. And Sando Charles said, John Mahama, you spoke well.